New products on the market include the model 69 XT. It is different in that you'll work with a rubber cap. The rubber end cap will not freeze in cold weather and stops the humidity from entering the horn section of the call. It's very important to remember that the angle at which you use the 69 XT is almost 90 degrees. Not the same as the basic model 69 where you blow out directly on the reeds. You can see the difference almost straight out in front of me and the other angle down. It is very important in terms of getting the proper sound. There are two ridges on the rubber end cap. It's about halfway between the two ridges that the sound is produced. This is where you're going to squeeze the reed. At the base of the rubber end cap, there is a raised ridge. This is the top of your call. In the early morning when there is little light to see by, use your fingers to feel the top of the call and place your mouth accordingly. In the beginning, when learning how to use the call, squeeze the rubber cap with your lips, gradually until you get the right sound. To reproduce a female in heat, place your hands gently over the opening at the base of the call. Use your hand to cover and uncover the opening, making sure not to close the hole too much so that you don't create too much pressure in the call, making it very difficult to control your sound. I'll place my other hand in the call at the bottom of the call to imitate the female in heat. If I want to imitate the young bull, I alternate between blocking and unblocking the hole, then switch back to making the sound of a female. The call reproduces the sound of a female at the very moment that she is ready to mate with a male. The call has a slight curve in it, in order to project the sound off into the distance and not to the ground. In addition, the horn is oval-shaped, in order to send the sound in a lateral direction and not a vertical direction. You can use just the call, which screws into the horn section. You'll never lose the horn or the call because of the way they attach to each other. Seeing as the horn is a fairly flat item, it doesn't take up much room and is easy to transport. I place my thumb and index finger at the end of the call like the other model. I squeeze the reed on the rubber end cap. I breathe out softly in short breaths. My hands control the call. The note is very clear. The clearer the note, the closer the female is to her peak of estrus. This is a young female, about 3 or 4 years old. The sound that I'm making here is exactly the same as we've seen Nicholas use already when calling both the female and the bull. The perfect call when hunting moose. One of the biggest advantages of this call is using it with a horn to scrape along the brush, which I will show you in a moment. You can also take the rubber end cap off and work directly with the reed, a bit like the Model 69. The Model 69 XT is very easy to use, much easier than all the other models. Doesn't freeze up in cold weather and will never be affected by the humidity. Inside the horn you'll find a small clip, similar to a clothespin, to imitate the breaking of branches. It is very important to place your hand behind the clip on the outside of the horn. Simply use your finger to apply pressure on the clip to create the sound. Apply a bit of pressure with the fingernail and let slip, so the clip springs will snap to imitate the sound of a small branch, and harder to imitate the sound of a large branch. Because quite often we can't find branches that we can break. This is the beauty of this call. You no longer have to carry an antler with you to imitate the sounds. Scrape directly with the cone. To imitate the large moose, hold the corn at the end, versus a small moose by holding the cone closer to the middle or to the top of the cone. Everything is included in one call. Listen carefully to the sound imitated by this cone. You'd swear it was a moose. You can use the end or the side. Notice how the sound changes when held at the end of the cone. The end of the cone will actually scrape a bit of the bark off. This will make the moose think that there really was another animal that came through the area. The sound of the breaking branch and the sound of a female in heat projected into the cone to send the sound behind me. When you use the cone in this way, it really does an excellent job of imitating a female in heat. Both the new and existing calls work very well. The advantage being the cone. It can be used to scrape branches. We learned various ways to use the call for different situations, whether walking through the woods or for calling the moose with a horn. A modern way of calling moose and getting excellent results. There has to be a very strong moose odor in the air in order to attract them. Nicholas scrapes his call on the bushes. Sounds just like a moose's antler. He calls the female and imitates a branch breaking. Then another short female call. They can hear the bull coming through the brush as his antlers rub against the surrounding trees and bushes. He's just about to come through the trees. About 15 to 20 minutes go by. It stays about 50 feet from us. We can now see him rubbing his antlers on the brush. This bull is humongous. He must weigh over 1,000 pounds.
Shoot again! Shoot again!
Our hunters have decided to try another area a bit further away. Here I am using my call and spraying moose urine. It's very important to verify the direction of the wind. I'm using the horn opening and the hole in the call to vary the sound. Call a bit more plaintively. We can see a small bull approaching, and I can hear another larger bull in the distance. I continue to provoke him with my call. A female that is being approached by the young male. This will incite the larger bull to come closer. It's very important to use a lot of urine. The young bull is interested in our female, but our hunters will wait for the larger bull to make his appearance. I continue calling, scraping, and using the imitation of breaking branch in the horn of the call. Changing sounds all the time and trying to provoke the large bull. Using different notes and tones in the calls, try and attract the larger bull. We know he's not very far. We've heard him very well. Beautiful large bull. Our hunter decides to use his rifle. Beautiful bull. Perfect shot. Perfect shot. Followed by a second. Also well placed.
You're in.
Victor is very happy with his large bull.
Yes. 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 Right? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, we did.
Good guys. Yes.
First ball.
When you hit them.
Oh, we waited a while for this one, didn't we?